Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face while you're sleeping. If you feel like you could use some inspiration for your future home design, or just want to check out weird ideas of homes that people turn into reality, this video is for you. Would you choose to live in a seashell like a crab, or how about in a house hanging from a cliff? If you want to check them out first, here is a list of 10 of the most unusual houses in the world. Let's begin, shall we? Number 10. Seashell House. Have you ever wondered what it's like to be a hermit crab? Swimming in the huge oceans, and when tired of that, just roll on the beach and find shells to live inside them. Well, we're not sure about swimming in the ocean, but as for the latter part, it would be like living in this insane house from Mexico City, which looks like a giant seashell. The house was designed by Javier, who drew inspiration from the Nautilus. Of course, the shell was stylized a bit, and its form and design were adapted and translated into this amazing architectural jewel. The project was completed in 2016, and one of the most notable elements, besides the obvious shape of the house, is that wonderful wall of colored mosaics, which create the most exquisite rainbow effect.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you'll get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it. It really works.
Number 9. Floating House. By now, you must have an idea that there's a house for almost everyone, even the people who are always on the move. So, a house that floats on water and moves like a boat is not a far-fetched idea. Bonnie always felt that she belonged on the water. One day, Bonnie got an idea when her boat builder friend, Dennis Tremblay, convinced her that a tiny boathouse was the way to live alternatively, and they ended up making one. This is a 4-season houseboat because it's fully insulated and has an antique wood-burning fireplace to provide heat in the winter. For power, they installed a deep-cycle marine battery that provides 12-volt power for the lights, bilge pump, and navigation lights. The main floor has a kitchen, toilet, dining room, and living room, and upstairs there's a cozy sleeping loft with a grill floor that allows heat to rise through, which is brilliant. And for the best view imaginable, the loft leads to a rooftop patio to soak it all in. When she's not enjoying her riverside view, Bonnie rents out her floating tiny house as an Airbnb. Would you want to spend a night here? Number 8. 8 square meters house. Japan's high population and limited space have made the cost of living in the country very high. Emma is a resident in the country whose house is only 8 square meters. Yeah, we're not kidding. When she stretches her arms in her apartment, she can touch both the walls easily. Even by Japanese standards, though, this tiny Tokyo apartment is a lot smaller than usual. Emma spent a long time looking for apartments, but her current home stood out from the rest because of its 2 levels. Despite the narrow, almost hall-like shape, this apartment height prevents the space from feeling too confined. In the house, everything is available. The kitchen is small, but has value. The bathroom is amazingly designed, and there's even a horizontal bar in the middle of the kitchen, just in case you want to start exercising. A ladder in the living space leads to a small sleeping loft that sits above the apartment's entrance. If any guest comes, they have to sit on the floor too. This is a perfect space for someone who doesn't want other people sleeping at their home. Number 7. Cornerless House. No matter how tiny the house is, they still have corners and walls. Well, not this one. When Christoph Kaiser spotted a flat-pack grain silo from the 1950s for sale on Craigslist, he thought his storage problems were over. But a quick Google search for similar projects led him down a different path, and something extraordinary was made instead. He embarked on an 18-month-long project to fashion it into the tiny house of his dreams. And tiny it is. The 366 square foot home doesn't have any rooms, just an upstairs bedloft and a downstairs, which includes a kitchen and a bathroom. Kaiser ended up building the kitchen cabinets himself, as well as a sliding glass door on wheels that opens up to the backyard and an outdoor shower. In the house, a space-saving spiral staircase leads to the mezzanine bedroom. The bath is the only private space in the open-plan layout. Everything just fits so perfectly in the house. It feels like it was made specifically for the silo house. Oh, wait, it was! According to Christoph, the biggest challenge of designing the silo house was fitting everything inside. It had to function as a normal house, but he wanted to create a space where he'd want to spend time. The whole project cost him around $100,000, but it was totally worth it. Number 6. The Caterpillar House. We're not really sure why this house was given this name, but we can't deny the fact that this house is pretty unconventional, as well as really interesting. This cool and weirdly shaped family home is located in Chile and was designed by Santiago Irarrázaval Architects and Eric Caro in 2012. The sloping plot on which it was built is surrounded by rocky landscape. As you can imagine, that made the architect's job quite difficult, but difficulty fuels an artist's excitement and creativity. In an effort to reduce the cost as well as the construction time, they chose to build the Caterpillar House out of shipping containers. In total, 12 containers were used, one of which has an open top and serves as a swimming pool. Of course, that's not the only thing that makes this house special. In fact, the most interesting of all is the distribution of the internal spaces and the way in which the zones interact with each other while maintaining their individuality. It really is a work of art. Would you want to live in this house? Number 5. The KERET House. Due to an increase in population and expensive places to live, the trend of tiny houses is on a rise. But some are worse than others because they took it too far. Squeezing a house where a house shouldn't be, like between two buildings, is never a good idea. The KERET House is an example of one of the worst places to build a home. Built by Polish architect Jacob Szynczy, it is claimed to be the world's narrowest house, just 122 centimeters across at its widest point. The KERET House is squeezed into a crevice between two buildings in the center of Warsaw and provides a temporary home for traveling writers. It is so small that two people cannot live together on one floor, so it had a number of floors. It might be a cool idea for a temporary stay, but living here permanently would not be a good idea at all. The body of the house is raised up on stilts, and a staircase leads inside from underneath. At its narrowest point, the house is no more than 72 centimeters wide. Quote, "Everything was custom and everything needed to be pushed," said Szynczy, explaining how they managed to fit in all the necessary furnishings. Number 4. The Pole House. This house is as dramatic as it is simple. Designed and built by F2 Architecture, the Pole House overlooks the Great Ocean Road in Australia and takes advantage of its location and spectacular views in a very unusual way. The plot on which it was built is a steep hillside, which obviously was very challenging for the architect firm. The architects came up with the most intriguing solution to the problem. They built a concrete platform on a 13-meter-high pylon, and they put the house on top of that. By elevating it like that, they put an emphasis on the views, but were faced with a second challenge. There was no way to comfortably access the house. To solve this problem, the architects also built a narrow concrete bridge that links the house to the hillside. From the bridge to the house, everything's an adventure. The house is a tourist spot, and you can visit it anytime you want. Number 3. The Hanging House. There are some people who dream of living on mountains because of how peaceful and isolated they are from the rest of the world. But living on the edge of a mountain? That's not for everybody. One of the best examples of some of the worst places to build a house is the Shenkong Temple, also known as the Hanging Temple in China. It does exactly what the name suggests, hangs to the side of a mountain. This temple is 246 feet above the ground. It was once used as a monastery, but now it's mostly just a tourist spot. To reach the nearest town, you need to drive 40 miles, which shows just how isolated it really is. Would you ever want to live here? And with that, it's now time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by one of our subscribers. If you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it on over to us. Who knows? We might even feature it on a future video. Number 2. This is actually a concept design of a house on the edge of a cliff, like the one Tony Stark had in the Iron Man series. If you want to know what happened to the house at the end of the series, well, it sank. This might be one of the worst places to build a house, but by now you must have gotten an idea how crazy people can get when it comes to designing a house. Would you want to live in a house attached to the edge of a cliff? Let us know in the comments. Number 1. Skateboard house. Have you ever thought about a house where you can skateboard anywhere? Living room, bedroom, and even baths? This is a skateboarder's dream, and the PAS house makes that dream come true. The PAS house is located in Malibu, California, and its bizarre design is the result of a collaboration between Francois Perrin, Gilles Lebon-Delapont, and their client, pro skater and former world champion Pierre-Andre Saint-Deserkis. It's the structure that can be used for both skateboarding and living. The interior is organized into 3 main areas, one of which is a skateboard practice zone. Of course, it's possible to skate on pretty much anything, including the walls, ceiling, and even the furniture. Nothing is off limits here, except maybe the kitchen. Oh, no, wait, you can even skate there too. Which one of these houses would you want to live in? Let us know in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.